Welcome to part one of our three-part monitoring series showing how we conduct our bee and butterfly monitoring at the DEP Titusville Field Station Native Plant Pollinator Garden. So the first part of bee and butterfly monitoring is collecting abiotic data. So you'll see when you get your monitoring clipboard that the abiotic data section is here at the top, where we need to write all volunteer names in their respective duties and then go through our checklist to get weather conditions before we start our monitoring. So abiotic data is taken at the beginning of monitoring, and then that data is copied onto each data sheet. So we have 4 data sheets for monitoring, 2 for bees and 2 for butterflies. So we'll go ahead and start on our first data sheet, and then the scribe is responsible for copying that data to all 4 data sheets. So first thing that we do in our abiotic data is observe weather. So we look up in the sky at the cloud cover and try to figure out what our category would be. Full sun, which is 0% cloud cover, mostly sunny, which is 0 to 25% cloud cover, partly cloudy, which is 25 to 50%, cloudy, which is 50 to 99, and then overcast would be 100% cloud cover.
Be cloudy above 50%.
Okay, so we can put cloudy, which again is at 50 to 99% cloud cover, but we can still see our shadow. Where is my shadow? Can still see my shadow. And I would say we're right on the cusp of that 50%, and you may have heard our 2 volunteers trying to figure that out. So on the monitoring sheet as well, Irene, you could even circle both if you needed to, or explain that you're right around that 50% cusp, because again, I'm the one who is going to look at this data and figure out which category we're going to put it in. So if you can see your shadow, you can go ahead and monitor. If you were closer to that 99% or that overcast 100% and you can't see your shadow, then we definitely need to cancel monitoring. So for each of these weather protocol, there's a limit, and that is ours for cloud cover and sun. We need to be able to see our shadow, and we want the sky to be usually around 50% or less clouds. And as you can see today, it's a little bit windy, so the clouds are moving kind of fast. So the next thing we're going to look into is our wind direction, and this will set us up so we can take our other wind measurements. So for wind direction, we use our compass. We're going to face our body into the direction of the wind, so sometimes it takes a minute to figure out where that wind is coming from. Kirk has his body facing into the direction of the wind, and then he uses the compass and moves the compass in the palm of his hand so that the red north arrow lines up with the red box, and again, that north direction. So the direction that Kirk's body is facing is the direction that the wind is coming from. So based on the direction of his body lined up with the compass, what direction are you facing, Kirk?
East.
Okay, so the wind is coming out of the east, and Irene is going to circle that direction on the data sheet. Now that we've found our wind direction, we can take our other wind measurement data using the Kestrel weather meter. So we're going to hold it just above head height into that wind, and then Kirk turned it on by pressing the center button, and then clicks through our different options by pressing the right button, which he already did. So we are at average wind speed, correct? Do you have it on there?
Average wind speed.
So average wind speed, we have the little wind symbol in the bottom corner and the word average displayed on the screen as well. And after 10 seconds, Kirk can tell us what that average wind speed is.
So average wind speed is 6.6 miles per hour.
Okay, so 6.6 miles per hour today. We always record in miles per hour. If it's not in miles per hour, you have to press the center button and the right button at the same time to get to miles per hour. So we're gonna go on to our next category by pressing that right button, and that'll be max wind speed. So it needs to have the word max on the bottom of the screen and that wind symbol again. So once we get there, again after 10 seconds, we can record the max wind speed.
Max wind speed is 9.7 miles per hour.
Okay, so our max wind speed is 9.7. For monitoring, we don't want that max wind speed to be over 10 miles an hour. So it can be 10 or less. So we're still good for monitoring because, like I said, we can see our shadow. The cloud cover is around 50-ish%, and our max wind speed is less than 10. So the next abiotic data we get is temperature. So again, that's on the Kestrel weather meter. We press that right button until we get to temperature, and we want to make sure it's on degrees Celsius. So again, you can change the units by pressing the center button and the right button at the same time. So for temperature, when it's windy like today, we can just hold the instrument and after a few moments see what the temperature reading is. But if it's a really still day, sometimes you have to move the meter around on the lanyard by swinging it, because we're trying to get air temperature. So we need air flow through the meter to get that air temperature. So once it's sort of settled on a number, what is our air temperature at?
Temperature is 31.2 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so we have 31.2 degrees Celsius for air temperature. So that's all of our abiotic data that we collect. Again, all this information, including volunteer names and dates, needs to be copied onto all 4 data sheets. So that's it for our abiotic data. Join us for part 2 out of 3 to begin bee monitoring.